Imagine starting your morning in a high-rise in New York City. You pack your bags, hop into your car, and hit the highway. But you aren't heading to Los Angeles. Instead, you drive east. Within a few hours, you cross an open land border, pass through the majestic Atlas Mountains, and by dinner time, you are parking in Casablanca, Morocco. 2 days later, you drive north directly into Paris, France. No boats, no planes, no oceans. This isn't a sci-fi fantasy. This was the reality of our planet 250 million years ago, when all land was fused into a single colossal supercontinent, Pangea. But what if the tectonic plates had frozen? What if Pangea never broke apart? How would our modern borders, climates, and very histories look today? To understand this alternate reality, we first have to look at the map. The United States is no longer isolated by two massive oceans. Instead, the East Coast is directly kissing Morocco, Mauritania, and Senegal. Canada is bordered by Spain and Denmark. Brazil is wedged tightly against Nigeria and Angola, turning the Atlantic Ocean into a distant memory. This layout completely eliminates the geographic shields that shape modern superpowers. The United States, historically protected by ocean moats, would suddenly share land borders with dozens of African and European nations. Every nation would be forced to navigate a hyperdense geopolitical neighborhood, leading to either unprecedented global cooperation or, more likely, a perpetual state of hyper-militarized border conflicts. But the geopolitical chaos is nothing compared to what would happen to Earth's climate. If Pangea remained intact, the interior of the supercontinent would be a biological nightmare. When you cluster all of Earth's landmass into one giant lump, you create a vast interior that is thousands of miles away from any ocean moisture. The center of Pangea, which would include parts of modern-day North America, South America, Africa, and Asia, would become an ultra-arid, hyper-hot desert. Temperatures would regularly exceed 50 degrees Celsius. Life here would be practically unsustainable. Humans would be forced to crowd along the outer coastlines of the supercontinent, fleeing the dead, scorching heartland. Meanwhile, the coastlines themselves would be battered by catastrophic weather. With one giant ocean panthalassa covering the rest of the planet, there would be nothing to break up massive ocean currents. This would generate super monsoons and hypercanes of unimaginable scale, slamming into coastal cities with relentless force. Humanity will find itself squeezed into a narrow, dangerous strip of livable land between a deadly desert and an unforgiving super ocean. This extreme geography would fundamentally alter the course of human history. The age of maritime exploration would never have happened. Empires like Great Britain, Spain, and Portugal built their global power on naval dominance. The Silk Road would not be a perilous trade route. It would just be the standard highway system. Human migration would have happened entirely on foot, meaning the settlement of the Americas would have occurred completely differently. The distinct isolation that allowed diverse cultures, languages, and immunities to develop in the Americas and Australia would be gone. We might speak a handful of highly unified languages, but we also would have faced devastating global pandemics much earlier in history. The world would be a crowded, interconnected, and storm-battered reality. Resources would also be concentrated in entirely different ways. The rich oil reserves of the Middle East and the agricultural gold mines of the Midwest and the mineral wealth of Africa would all be compressed into shared, highly contested zones. Wars would not be fought over distant colonies. They would be fought right on your doorstep. In the end, a world where Pangea never broke apart is a world of extremes. It is a world where you could indeed drive from New York to Paris, but you might have to cross through militarized zones and blazing deserts to do it. Our broken, scattered continents may seem divided, but they allowed humanity to thrive in peace and diversity. The next time you look at a globe, be glad the Earth drifted apart.